So what do you get when you take an old school RPG, some Lovecraft, some sci-fi fantasy, and freaking aliens? Encore. That's what. We're going to tell you all about it here in just a moment.
Hello, and welcome to SRD. Today we're going to be talking about a new sci-fi fantasy RPG from Chris Miller Games called Encore, Kingdom of the Gods.
What makes Encore different from all the other RPGs that are out there right now?
So first off, it runs off a unique D12 core mechanic system.
Okay.
So it's that and the setting, of course. So the campaign setting for Encore, Kingdom of the Gods takes elements from Conan the Barbarian, little H.P. Lovecraft, some real-world mythologies, Chariots of the Gods, because it's aliens. It sets in Ancient Sumeria 25,000 years ago, just after the Great Flood.
Right.
There you go.
And this guy did his research, right? Like this is really historically accurate as far as
as we know, because Sumeria is the oldest known culture we've got,
right.
and we really only have that there was a Sumerian culture and it's gone now.
Yeah.
That's about as far as we got. We got some of the creation myth, and that makes the core of the campaign setting mythos. That's really
sounds good
there. So, experience is done in this game in 3 different styles. Mm-hmm. So it's not. That's another thing that sets it apart. So you've got martial experience, spiritual experience, and scholastic experience. What you're doing in the game drives what kind of experience you get, and then that experience you then use to buy your advancements relative to what you've done. So you can't spend martial experience on psionic abilities.
Okay, so something kind of like Elder Scrolls or Skyrim, where like if you want to level up your face beating, you just beat face.
You go beat face.
Okay.
Or if you want to level up,
your book running.
Complex mathematics, because that's your character's a physicist or whatever. You have to do complex mathematics, and you have to learn that ability and practice it up.
Okay, very cool.
That's really how it goes. You have aptitudes, which are your stats. You have skill circles, which are your level of mastery from 1 through 9. Okay. That's it. That's what you spend your experience on, is advancement in that, not class levels.
Nice.
There are no class levels.
There are no class levels.
There are no class levels.
Okay. That's cool. That's just like more of a free-form kind of game, but the experience goes to the skills itself.
Right. So everything that's not a core aptitude is a skill.
Gotcha. Excellent. So I'm assuming that like there's a list or branch of skills that are underneath the aptitude.
They're tied to certain aptitudes.
Okay.
But it's moreover they're grouped up into categories of skills.
Okay.
So your athletic skills, your intellect-based skills, your balance-based skills, all those are grouped together. And then depending on what caste you are, which is where class comes in, tells you which skills are easier for you to learn that are on your list. Because everything is derived from the setting is very guild heavy. So what you are matters. It's how you're trained, it's how you're taught, it's how you get taught.
Okay.
There's some things you can just figure out and do. Trial and error mechanic. You pay your experience and you take the time in the game for your character to, I'm going to learn how to weave a basket, and you just weave the basket. Eventually you're going to get skill in it.
Okay.
You can also go get taught by a grandmaster basket weaver, and they can just teach you. Either way, you pay an experience. This is which route's faster, which route's cheaper.
Okay.
And speaking of which route's faster, which route's cheaper, another thing that's unique about this game, and for most of them unique about this game, is your intellect matters on your skills. So literally, the smarter you are, the easier your life is, because skills are cheaper. Nice.
Okay. Well, that's good. A lot of video games do that. Where if you actually invest. Actually, I remember I think it was like Baldur's Gate. If you were smarter, you'd get a little bonus on your XP. And I always felt that should probably translate to tabletop, but it never seemed to. Like if you were in the middle of the road, you get the full regular bonus, but if you were above average intelligence, you get a little bonus. Nothing crazy, maybe 10, 25%. And then, but if you used intelligence as a dump stat, you shouldn't level the same amount as the guy next to you.
Because it takes longer to teach you stuff.
Yeah.
you just don't grasp things as quickly. This game employs that kind of mechanic with the way that the experience cost for things is calculated.
Right.
And your aptitude number on your intelligence goes into that.
Cool.
So the higher it is, the less cost you have.
Yeah.
Is the essential.
I was reminded of this old Chris Farley movie, and I can't remember what it's called right off the top of my head, but it was like a Lewis and Clark thing where he was. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And he's like trying to teach him how to read, and he's like, and these are on the A on there, and he just can't get it.
Yes,
he just doesn't understand
it.
that it's an A, and his head explodes. It was.
This is the uppercase A.
Ah, the uppercase A. Got that. All right. Whoa.
Anyway, moving on. So tell me, with this is a unique game. This does have a lot of old school kind of feel to it, with the art, with the setting, even with the skills. Kind of reminds me a lot of Second Edition with that. Fighters hit stuff, they gain XP. Rogues steal stuff, they gain XP.
Right.
Though that's granted into one class and it's what you're doing, but it just kind of reminds me of that. So with that being kind of an older feel, what are some of the cons that you see with this game?
So the cons with this were the way it's structured, the way it's built. You've got the mechanics that all lean in on itself, but they're very much tied to the setting.
Okay.
You could divorce the setting from the mechanics, but you have to take the mechanics whole cloth as they are and then retool whatever setting you're trying to put them in.
Sure. Well, I mean, you're talking about...
That's a con for some people because it's a great system, it's a great game. But it's a package deal.
Yes. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Specific deal.
There are plenty of good games that, one of my favorites is Shadows of Estron, a great game that got kickstarted, but they came about a couple years ago and they're from France. But it's a very dark, very gothic, horror-themed world where the other players need to be invested in that world or else it's just not going to come across. Or then it's just another D100 game.
Right.
If they don't know the setting.
Right. Another example going the other way is Shadowrun. Mm-hmm. Old school Shadowrun is a great setting, fantastic setting. Terrible mechanics. It really was. It's a mess. You can divorce them from each other. It takes a little bit of work, and then you can drop Shadowrun into whatever. Same concept here.
Right.
You can split them, but there's no need to because it's married together. It's a package deal.
Right. Sounds good. Anything else?
It's a D12 system. It's different. It's unique. I think that the D12 has not gotten the love it should have, so I'm happy for that. But it is different. It is unique. It works a lot like a percentile system,
right?
Just with smaller numbers.
So that's because you roll the D12.
You roll the D12. You got
under.
Yes, you want at your target number or under, which they call an action potential number in the game. But we'll get into mechanics a little bit later.
Yeah.
That's the gist. You're hitting a target number or lower.
Okay. So do you think it's a con just because people aren't familiar with it? Like they know a D100.
Right. There's a learning curve.
They know a D6.
Eventually, maybe if this takes off, because it really is pretty easy to use, pretty intuitive, and it's the same mechanic literally for everything in this game.
Okay.
All your attacks, all your skill checks, all your everything is that same D12 core mechanic.
Nice.
It's all you need, really, is you need one die. You need one die.
Oh, wow, just one.
Yeah, just the one D12.
That's
it.
Okay. Well, then everyone has a great axe, right?
Yes.
That is the significant, I think the only time that really the D12 gets any love is the Dungeons and Dragons.
It's the great axe when you're playing that half orc and you score that crit.
So what are the really good things about this game? The things that you really were like, man, this sells it for me.
The D12 system. So just the learning curve for the new system is the only real con. Sure. Hopefully this takes off, and we added into the paradigm of the discussion with, is it a D20 system? Is it a percentile system? Is it a D6? Is it a 12?
Okay.
In 4 or 5 years, I mean, it's a good way to do business.
Okay.
I think it's simple, it's easy, it gets out of the way.
Well, there you go. If you're writing, pick up this book and
think about working a D12 in, maybe. Chris Miller, Good work, mate. So it's a simple core mechanic, and it gets out of the way, and allows for the GM to really focus on storytelling.
Okay.
And not screwing around so much with the rules.
Right. You said it reminded you kind of Cypher in that.
In that respect, it does remind me a lot of Cypher. Because I did a couple play tests of some short scenario work. I didn't really need the book rules handy to run the game.
Okay.
I needed what I had written out as an example for my player characters to deal with the scenario.
Little prep work.
And then a couple ideas of if they go left, if they go right.
Yeah.
What happens if they throw a wrench? Just have those jotted down on a paper, same way I run Cypher system.
Sure.
Because it's a similar idea in the sense that super simple core mechanic that gets out of the way.
Awesome. What else?
So the advancement with characters is very much tied to the role playing.
Okay.
And I like that about this game. You have to do action X to gain benefit X. So if you want to be a better fighter, you got to go fight or you got to train. You can't go do a bunch of, complex physics and expect to get better at sneaking around.
Sure.
So it very much drives that. And everybody can find something that they like about this game. Whether you have a player who's in it for the murder mystery aspect, or you got someone who's just into Lovecraft, Cthulhu, horror type stuff. You can work some of that in there because you've got strange alien beings and all the weird stuff that they made in their genetic experiments before they got into all the various species that you can play. By the way, aliens made all the species in this game. So that's the setting you're dealing with.
Okay.
It all ties together. Everybody can find something they like. You want a sci-fi gunslinger type guy. You got one of your players who wants to play Boba Fett. They're just dead set. It doesn't matter what game you put them in. You put them in an Old West game, they want to play Boba Fett. You can do it in this.
Okay.
It'll take some doing. But they can run around with a blaster and a jetpack. No problem.
Okay. Very cool.
And those are most of the pros and the cons with this game. It's simple, it's easy to use, gets out of its own way.
Excellent. So what about the physical product itself? So I know there's a PDF version.
There's a hardback version of this book as well.
But we were given the soft the soft cover by Chris. He sent it to us. So I know this thing's taken quite a bit of a beating. It's gotten some little bit of damage here, but how did it get that beating?
So it got that beating because I travel a little bit, and this book has been a near constant companion for the course of our review, which because of our shooting schedule has been not very long.
About a month.
So yeah,
It's not too bad.
for 300 and some pages of rule digestion and story, which we'll get to that. So it's a paperback copy. It's 300 some odd pages. It's great artwork that all supports the theme. It all supports the style. It really brings the flavor of this unique setting together. Layout of the book's pretty straightforward. It's well organized. It's easy to use. And you've got rules. You've got equipment. You've got character creation, advancement rules. You've got the baddies, and enough backstory in here to create its own novel.
Nice.
And then it gives you a great jumping off point to build whatever story you want to do using this narrative. Literally, you can go whatever direction you want. So, hardback version may or may not have a kitchen sink in it. We didn't get that copy, but it's about the only thing missing
Gotcha.
out of this. As far as the durability of this book, mentioned my trips. 3 countries in less than a week on military aircraft doing military things. And this book went with me because I need something to read, frankly.
Yep.
And so it's
Held
just
it
a
pretty good.
little minor scuffing on the corners. And that's from me getting it in and out of bags, is what that's from. So that is a very durable product, even in paperback form.
So what do you think after you spent some time here with this book? What are your final thoughts on it?
So my final thoughts on the book are, it's a great game with an interesting setting. The core mechanic, it's simple, it's fresh, it gets out of its own way. It creates a great driver for your narrative storytelling style of play and your player-centric stories, because they have to engage this mechanic to advance their characters.
Right.
So I'm split. I'm equal parts want to run this game and want to play this game. So it's now going in my stable of games. I'm keeping this one.
Excellent. So Chris Miller, the writer of this book, he's actually out right now because it's convention season. Actually, that's pretty much our main theme this month, and a lot of our videos is going to be talking about convention games, how to write them, etc. But Chris is going to be out there, so if you see him, I know for sure he's going to be at Gen Con. I'm not sure some other ones that he's going to be out there. So if you see him,
the big one's in Georgia. He's
Georgia.
around that area.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, he's going to be around the convention scene. Look for him. Look for his booth. I know he's on Twitter and stuff like that. He's always posting like where he's going to be. Check him out. Swing by. Take a look at the product yourself. We love it. We like it a lot. We think it's really interesting. The setting is really cool. The mechanics are cool. I really like the Skyrim-esque experience build. That's really cool. Plus, there's not very many games that I could play Stargate that would actually work.
Right.
If this game lends itself perfectly to playing a Stargate RPG, if that's what you really want to sit down on and say, I feel like you could almost call it Stargate and it would work out. But it has the more Sumerian thing and theme to it. And so it's kind of like Stargate meets Ancient Aliens almost a little bit.
That's the gist of Stargate.
Was it Sumerians?
It was Egyptians, but I mean, it's all chariots to the gods. So to further on that, this is a 10-year or more project of Chris Miller. And if you get this or get a chance to check out his website, it's on there as well. Read the preface. Read the how all this came about and the inspiration for it. It's a decade of hard work and waiting for the right time, the right place. Yeah. Finally, technology advanced to the point where he could self-publish this and it actually not cost a fortune to do it, and he could pull it off. And I'm glad he did because I like this game.
That's right. Lesson is, if you've got a game idea, just keep working at it, keep plugging at it. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what we're doing. We had an idea, and here we are. We're plugging at it. So, with that being said, if you like this video, go ahead and like it and share it with your friends. And of course, if you'd like to see us every week and all the multitude of videos that we're coming out with each week now, we've got our Monday episodes, we've got our Monday regular episodes, we've got our Friday reviews, and then every other week we've got Wednesdays for the kids and the moms, and then we're actually working on something else that's coming down the pipe as well. So
we can't talk about that one?
We cannot talk about that one yet.
Come on.
Nope.
Not even a tease?
Not even a tease. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next week.